Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. So, today we have Dr. Archana Krishna, uh, a renowned clinical psychologist with over 20 years of experience as a life coach, consultant, trainer, and educator. Also, she is passionate practitioner who divides her time between clinical practice, training, consulting, and research. So, welcome to the team, ma'am. Welcome to
Thank
the
you,
session.
Sagar.
So,
Thanks a lot.
yes. Today's topic is maximizing employee health and performance, sleep tips and strategies. And the importance of sleep cannot be overstated. And I'm sure our audience is eager to learn more about this topic. So, ma'am, shall we start with the first question?
Yeah, sure. Sure, Sagar.
Cool. Ma'am, could you give us some background on why sleep is critical and what does sleep mean in 21st century?
Yeah, Sagar. Thank you so much for inviting me here. And I would like to welcome my audience here. And my humble request to remain interactive so that there are takeaways both ways. We are also eager to learn from the audience as well. As your question goes, what is the importance of sleep in 21st century? Sleep, let us first see what is sleep. Sleep has, we all know it has got restorative functions.
Yes.
So whatever energy we are losing in the daytime working, it goes here and there, it restores. The millions of functions are taking place in our body inside, and it gets restored during sleep. But somehow we belong to Gen X, like this between 65 to 1980. So Gen X sleep was never an issue at that time. So everybody would, it was just like a natural function, just you are eating, and you are drinking water or something like that. So no issue, never ever used to discuss sleep. And we all used to go to bed by 9 or 10. No TVs, no gadgets, like that. Sleep
Yes.
was never, and we had, you know, good health. I was born and brought up in Shimla, and fresh air, we go 8 to 9 hours of sleep time. So never was. Since we are seeing the both of the times now, for this millennial generation and for Gen Z, now it is different. For 21st century, sleep has somehow become, because of the development, because of the coming of the gadgets, digital era just coming up, and we are all dazzled by the development, and we are ready to sacrifice sleep at the drop of the hand, just for the sake of the curiosity or learning some new things, meeting new people, hitting the pubs, and all that stuff. So before I start, there are two questions I would like to ask Sagar, to you and my audience,
Yes.
all of you there.
Mhm.
So do you remember having a good 7 to 8 hours sleep last week? Yes or
Last
no?
week, to be honest, no.
No.
Yes.
And my second question is, do you remember having woken up without an alarm clock, refreshed, and without needing a cup of your favorite tea or coffee to get activated for the day's work? Do you remember that?
So I remember it was happening like few months back, not
Yeah,
at the moment.
no, at the moment now.
Yes.
So if for either of the questions, if the answer is no, Sagar,
Mhm.
then I would say that we all are a part of the two-thirds of world's adult population who is suffering from sleep deprivation. We all are impacted. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And 40% of women, it's a red flag for women. They are more prone to sleep deprivation.
Mhm.
So, and the reason is the digitization and so many other things that we are, and we are willingly, uh, you know, mm, uh, depriving ourselves of the sleep.
Mhm.
And there can be, there can be, various, difficulties, and there can be, the sleep deprivation can really cause disturbing things in our life. And you can catch up with another question.
Mhm. Cool, ma'am. Thank you so much for the insight. So the next question is, so we would like to know, at current generation, like there are like a lot of adults, who are working in corporate and even the other part also. So sleeping and there is a like sleep deprivation. So we would like to know like what are the major consequences of sleep deprivation?
Yeah, Sagar, sleep deprivation, right? Because restorative functions are not there and there is no escape. We
Mhm.
cannot go and buy just like we go and buy a hard disk in the market and
Yes,
just
yes,
here we cannot buy this
exactly.
cannot be sleep cannot be compensated. Even night sleep cannot be compensated by day sleep. I
Mhm.
would like to add. So
Mhm.
normal sleep hours are like somewhere minimum 6 to 8 hours. That is a normal. And if we
Mhm.
are continuously deprived, not for a day or so,
Mhm.
Sagar, if we are, depriving ourselves of sleep for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or even more for months together, and becomes a habit, then
Mhm.
what happens? We are prone to more accidents. That's
Mhm.
why people who are sleep or who are remaining awake and working at night,
Mhm.
we can see maximum accidents, truck accidents happening between 4 to
Yes.
6 a.m. in the morning. At that time, body clock shuts up automatically because
Mhm.
of we are keeping ourselves awake by smoking, by tea, caffeine, stuff like that. But body clock has its own
Mhm.
ways, and
Yes.
that's how. And sleep deprivation cannot even cause this. We are at the risk of accidents, of course. And
Mhm.
then our over a period of time, Sagar, what happens is that our coronaries, our arteries, they get
Mhm.
constricted,
Mhm. Yes.
and because of that, our blood pressure goes high
Mhm.
and
Got
causes hypertension. And
it.
that's
Mhm.
not what my research was. I did my research in on the Institute of Medical Sciences, and my research topic was this:
Oh.
how emotions or sleep deprivation can cause hypertension. Hypertension is something without any cause.
Mhm.
It's just because why? Because of the emotional issues,
Mhm.
there can be a raise in the blood
Mhm.
pressure. So
Mhm.
our blood pressure gets raised up, and we become at the risk of cardiovascular diseases. And also over a period of time, I would like to add up here that we become irritable if we don't sleep properly. We're depriving ourselves of the sleep.
Mhm.
We're waking up, irritable, and our anxiety levels are high, and we get angry. Also, our threshold gets lower, and we get
Mhm.
angry also very fast. And very importantly, because since it is for the corporate people, we all, ladies and men in this 21st era, we all are working together. Very
Mhm.
important to add up because we are all using, because our physical activities have carved up, and now
Mhm.
we are all using our brains, our minds.
Exactly.
This sleep deprivation, I would like to add up the major thing which is a loss to us is like it hampers the memory function, cognitive abilities of ours. Like say learning, retention, and recall. Learning becomes slow. Retention means storage.
Okay.
Storage is also for a shorter duration. And
Mhm.
then we cannot recall at the right time, right thing at the, we may be knowing the thing, but we are
Mhm.
not able to recall right thing at the right time. Here I would like to add up one case. One day in my clinic, very smart woman entered my clinic
Okay.
and totally disabled.
Mhm.
And I asked her to sit and, talk to her. She said, ma'am, you really need to help me out.
Mhm.
So what is it? So actually, I'm on the verge of losing my job. Okay, what happened? So she then confessed that she has been a teacher for 16 years and a senior biology teacher,
Okay.
teaching in our school, senior students. She
Mhm.
says from last 7 to 8 months that been happening, ma'am, that I tend to some kind of block comes into my mind while
Mhm.
teaching, and I lose all the strings. What I was teaching, what I have to teach, where I am. It happens
Okay.
for a few seconds, but all strings are lost.
Mhm.
She said she narrated once that she was teaching in biology in a senior class, reproductive system of the females, and they were into interactive session, class 11 students, and all of a sudden this memory block came, and she forgot. However, she struggled with her own self, and she felt miserable for a few
Mhm.
seconds.
Mhm.
And then she tried to catch up the strings, and we started discussing about she caught up the wrong string, started
Mhm.
caught up for a male reproductive organs. So now the student said, ma'am, we were discussing for the female reproductive organs. So she was highly embarrassed and she said, it's been happening for a long time. I don't know what
Mhm.
to do. So later on, when we examined her psychologically, find out there was some marital discord going on between them for last
Mhm.
2 years. And there were a lot of fights, arguments between husband and wife. She was not able to do justice to her 8-year-old daughter. And and she had a lot of work, and there was sleep deprivation afterwards. And the night she could not sleep because they were sharing the same bed, and she could not sleep. She felt he was having some kind of extramarital relation. So this was the thing that was happening. This is the mental blocks really take your energy away from. Yeah, this is some, I think, the very dangerous aspect of sleep deprivation.
Got it, ma'am. I was even able to relate, while you were explaining the scenario. So, like, if you ask me personally, also, like, I also experienced this thing. So, whenever I have good amount of sleep, the next day will be like very productive.
Yeah,
And if I'm suffering from like sleep deprivation, so then I'll not be able to do the task full-fledgedly.
yeah.
Okay, so there's a clear, that I have clearly observed.
And also, I would say, even with my, so sometimes because I am also into 21st century and not out of it.
Mhm.
So when I realize that I am having a sleep deprivation is that my creativity goes down.
Mhm.
And my work is such that I have to make customized plans for my different patients. They're having the similar symptoms, but the causes are different. So their plans,
Exactly.
customized plans of therapy are also different. So my creativity and goes down, then I realize like get back to my sleep and sleep hygiene regime. That's it.
Cool. Thank you so much for your inputs, ma'am.
You're
So now,
welcome.
like, let's like move on to the like next question. So, ma'am, like, we would like to understand, like, what are the like major, like root causes of sleep deprivation?
Yeah. So the sleep deprivation not only takes place because of the emotional reasons like we discussed right
Mhm.
now. It could be
Mhm.
the financial crunch can be
Mhm.
men too,
Mhm.
and they also get sometimes suicidal because men generally when they're committing suicide is because of the financial reasons. They're
Mhm.
and they're sleep deprived as well, and it could be because death of some loved ones, some grief,
Mhm.
or or relationship breakups, which are very common in this
Yes.
millennial and Gen Z. So
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
very common, and they really take it to the heart when
Mhm.
they get blocked from the social media.
Mhm.
So I get many clients who are just coming, to me that we are blocked and now we don't want to live. So sometimes I have to take the session at night at 10 p.m. or so because
Okay.
it was just an emergency. So they
Got
can say, why now we come into there are some other physiological reasons also for
it.
that.
Mhm.
Sometimes we are sleep deprived because sometimes we don't even realize that we are suffering from high or low blood pressure and we
Okay.
are sleep deprived. Emotionally, we're okay, but there are some kind of highs and lows.
Mhm.
And sometimes it is because of the acidity and our metabolism is getting affected. And then
Okay.
also we are sleep deprived. Sometimes we are having headache, continuous headache, migraine, and don't see the reason for it.
Mhm.
Here again, I would like to add up one more case and a very interesting one. There was a boy who was bound to go to Canada. He was 22-year-old young boy, and he was
Mhm.
running from a pillar to post, one big hospital to other hospital.
Mhm.
What he used to for this acidity issue, and why I have a team, Sagar. So
Mhm.
where there are
Okay.
gastroenterologists, psychiatrists, psychologists, happiness therapists, and all.
Got it.
Somehow he landed up to one of my team doctors who's working in Max Hospital, Delhi.
Mhm.
So he was there. So he said, and he was taking treatment from him, from
Mhm.
the gastroenterology doctor.
Okay. Okay.
So gastroenterology doctor, then after 3 months of treatment, all I was not aware. He called me up.
Mhm.
Say, Dr. Archana, now you have to take care of this patient because I have been treating this patient for 3 months and there is medicines are not making any difference. And
Okay.
he is becoming all the more miserable.
Mhm.
So he was referred from Max Hospital Delhi to my
Mhm.
clinic. So I examined him. So what is the issue? He says, ma'am, for last eight,
Mhm.
9 months, I have not been able to sleep in horizontally. I said,
Oh,
how do you sleep then? He said, I sleep with 3, 4, 5 pillows behind my back.
okay.
And it's like just slanting kind of a situation
Mhm.
because there's so much of acidity and influx
Mhm.
inside me. If I lie down properly in a horizontal manner, it would come
Mhm.
out and it will spoil the bed.
Okay.
So that I sleep, more or less in a slanting and sitting.
Mhm.
And I'm miserable, and I have got an assignment. I have to go to Canada, and please, I am here. Please kindly help me support whatever. Then the medicines were not having any impact.
Uh,
The modern medicine was not able to help him. And then we had to dig out what is the cause. That is,
mhm,
now we have to, Freud's, we use different theories and different,
yes.
Freud's theory. And we went on to his childhood.
Mhm,
We found out when he was a small child of 8 year old, and he was very much attached to his mother. And
mhm,
all of a sudden,
mhm,
his, all of a sudden, his mother expired, and he could not accept,
mhm.
her death.
Got
And
it.
he remained attached with him. And every time, he would ask, God, why me? Why everybody has a mother? Why me? Why I don't? And he was not able to accept that. And continuously, then he had put this thought on at the back of his upper chamber,
Mhm,
but it was hampering his present. His health was
got it.
getting hampered, and totally from the internal, because it was just like when it is an iceberg, you know, one third of the iceberg is visible, and two-third is not. So this the
Yes.
two-third of the subconscious, unconscious mind where we had pushed that kind of a thing. So
Mhm.
it just came up, and then he really bitterly cried. Till
Okay.
now, I just miss her and I feel her here and there. And I talk to
Oh,
her at night, and she says, "I'm there, don't worry." And things, stuff like that, emotionally get very connected. So then we have to severe. We found out, and then finally that boy was treated, and finally he went on to,
mhm,
Canada, uh, took his life happily. This is another. So this was the physiological, some of the reasons, and how we do the treatment is because uh,
mhm,
with a whole complete team
mhm,
of doctors, modern medicine, psychiatrists,
mhm,
myself, happiness coach, then we are together to
mhm.
give a release to the client.
Got it. That was like really nice story. Thank you for that insight.
Yeah,
So,
you are
ma'am, like we have like next question. So, ma'am, like what are the like warning signals that needs to be observed, like managers and colleagues regarding the sleep deprived employees to support their employees from getting worse from bad.
yeah. So we have seen that there in this digital era, graveyard shifts have become common. We all know that 20th century, we had never even thought of shifts. And even if they are not working into graveyard shift, we are sleep deprived for the work also, for the relationships also, and we are too much on the gadgets as well. Blue light
Uh,
is we are living our lives through our phones, right?
yes, ma'am.
So
Agree.
that we are depriving ourselves of the sleep and not realizing the importance of sleep. What happens when it is not signals are not visible in 2 3 weeks? It is more
Mhm,
time, but six,
mhm,
8 to 10 weeks or even more that we are deprived. Then what happens that there, no, as managers and all, as managers and as colleagues, I would say,
mhm,
we need to observe that
mhm,
our peers or or our staff, they have become somehow, or they have become slow, and their responses are delayed as compared to earlier. And we can also, when we are in the office, we can say they are taking frequent breaks for coffee or
yes.
tea or even smoking. They're going outside, and sometimes they can also be that become irritable, and
Got it.
their anger, sometimes the managers, it happens with managers, they get angry disproportionately. This
Got
is
it.
the issue is this much, and they get angry. Understand? So this is disproportionate anger, and their communication pitch also, I would say, that becomes either too loud
Mhm,
or it becomes feeble. Then also can make out person is either depressed or become very aggressive
mhm,
with himself or self. And
mhm,
then the visible symptoms are either that person starts losing weight or most often gaining weight over a period of time. Because when we don't sleep, there is a vasodilation in our body. Nerves start expanding and they want to
mhm,
rest. And one feels more hungry because energy is needed, which is not getting replenished by the sleep. And we are depriving our body of the sleep, and it's needing
mhm.
more energy. We indulge into anxious eating, eating chips, coke, and scrolling the phone,
Yes.
without any rhyme or reason, just like that, watching Netflix and maybe sometimes crime patrol and stuff like that, and all those stuff. So these are certain warning signals which can we can make out that, and if the and we can support them by
Mhm.
counseling ourselves, and if not, then they can be, we all are there, professionals are there, take care of them.
Got it, ma'am. Again, like for this response, also, I was clearly able to relate to the situation wherein we have seen, in my team also, like a fresher joins initially, he was like very productive, everything is going smooth, and
Right.
slowly, like there'll be some change in his like sleep schedule, and that could
Mhm.
clearly impact the work that he's doing. So
Mhm.
yeah, I could clearly see like whatever and relate
Yeah.
response. So that
Yeah.
was again like nice answer. So we should be like more focused, on sleeping. So, ma'am, like we have like one more question.
Mhm.
So, ma'am, like how can like one create a sleep conducive environment in today's generation, especially like when we have a lot of gadgets using?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sleep conducive environment, like it starts, I would say, Sagar, it starts when you wake up in the morning. If you want to have a good sleep, you have to embrace sunlight. That is very important. Some people, continue to remain in the dark. I have been visiting various corporates like Infosys and all and other companies
Mhm.
and the graveyard shift where the people are live in the darkness, continuously in the artificial lights. They don't even see sunlight. And 80% of people are suffering from the deficiency of vitamin D, young population between 20s and 30s. They're
Yes.
all suffering from that. So we start in the morning with the sunlight, and then we
Mhm.
go on. When we work, we have
Mhm.
to see to it that we are clearing our own mess, whatever we are doing. Sometimes when we shout at someone, we get angry on someone, it leaves a bad imprint on our mind. And in
Mhm.
continuously, sometimes it is for a right thing that we are, scolding our employees. But if it is proportionate, it's okay. Disproportionate, it also hangs into our mind. And some kind of a dirt, I would say, remains there. And it remain, gets attached to the mind.
Mhm.
And so we have to, we should be, this is a sleep hygiene regime that we
Mhm.
teach our clients into
Mhm.
the group sessions and sometimes individual sessions.
Mhm.
And for that, for sleep conducive environment, as you said, rightly said, that we need to have a very clean room, and it should be very organized, and
Mhm.
mild light, maybe candlelight or something like that. We need to pamper ourselves to sleep.
Yes.
Especially
Yes.
when we were so young, mothers used to sing loris or something like that. So then we have to connect to the nature basically, and some kind of mild instrumental music which has got the same rhythm,
Mhm.
and gadgets have to be off 30 to 45 minutes away from the bed, when and then when you're very exhausted, sometimes those days of a warm bath
Mhm.
also, has a very good impact, and
Mhm.
it eases out your nerves.
Mhm.
And then when you have had a bath, clean, and you are in the fresh night suit and fresh bed you are sitting in, and then there is a very good regime which I have found very practical over a period of time. Is
Mhm.
one should put in a habit of writing a journal.
Mhm.
Write just three things which have happened nice to you in a day. Just write
Got it.
those three things, and thank the Almighty or nature whosoever. So with sleeping with gratitude is medicine in itself.
Mhm.
And then it could we need to touch the roots, because most of the time we have seen that people are staying in PGs and single rooms and all. There's no life. There is a home, there is the house, but not a home. So that you
Got
need to connect with your parents, siblings, your childhood buddies, study buddies. That is very important. Just talking to them, listening to some criticism and laughing with them.
it.
Very
Mhm.
important. We stop laughing, Sagar, somehow. Somehow we don't laugh that much as we used to have belly laughter as a child. So laughing, these are certain things which stimulate our, happiness hormones in the body. Then talking to the family, sharing with them small things. If you have one person, I would say, Sagar, who
Mhm.
believes in you, in
Mhm.
your life is
Mhm.
Valle Valle, I would say in Punjab. So sometimes people don't have even not even a single person who believes in them. So such clients become very difficult for us to give them a therapy and all. There is no one who believes in themselves. They become so isolated over a period of time. They
Mhm.
because of their wrong goals that
Mhm.
only money can fetch them happiness. So they sever all the links with the family, siblings, and all. And family, maybe they get friendly to someone, and that person also walks off after 16 years of living relationships or stuff like that. So that it becomes terrible for them. So here I would say that
Mhm.
some kind of mindfulness exercises also help.
Mhm.
And very simple mindfulness exercise that I would like to share is that very simple one is that, but the it's known as belly breathing. It was, found out by in ancient sages and all. They used to do it, but now in our modern times we call it belly breathing. There's some other name. So what we do is that we inhale. Can you do it?
Mhm.
You can just inhale and feel our stomach inflated. Hold it and then release it. Just when we just lie down on our bed, if we can do this for 21 times belly breathing, that catches the rhythm of the body. Where our
Yes.
actual rhythm of our body is peace. And what we are doing in this 21st era is that we are running, 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 sometimes aimlessly also. 70% of the time, aimlessly we are running. And we lose our own rhythm. This is catching up with our own rhythm and
Mhm.
then going off to the bed and
Mhm.
doing some kind of progressive relaxation with the body,
Mhm.
breathing, and then just feeling, closing our eyes, feeling that
Mhm.
our toes are getting relaxed,
Mhm.
our heels, then our muscles, leg, and going upwards in the whole body. This is progressive relaxation with belly
Mhm.
breathing, and this does magic. 21 of time, one times, if you 21 breaths if you do, so
Mhm.
it is very good. And you can.
Got it, ma'am. That was really a good insight, ma'am. So, ma'am, like we have one question from the audience. I would
Yeah.
like to read it for you. So the question is like, please guide how to deal with emotions and feelings.
How to deal with emotions and feelings.
Yeah, because that's like impacting the sleep. Yeah.
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 So I see, practically speaking,
Mhm.
dealing with emotions, sometimes, we have to be remain connected with our values.
Mhm.
Sometimes when we are not connected with our values
Mhm.
and we go away from the values, whatever we believe,
Mhm.
so emotionally we remain hurt and we
Mhm.
think that it's modern to behave like that. Sometimes I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Sometimes we it's like going on the dating apps
Mhm.
and we are going into meeting people,
Mhm.
and then we tell them generally what my clients are telling me,
Mhm.
that we go and initially we discuss and mutually we decide not to be get serious through the dating app,
Mhm.
and we just meet and so we'll have fun and we'll not be serious. What happens, Sagar, eventually is that one
Mhm.
of the person gets, emotional during the tough times, maybe some kind of
Yes.
stormy situation in life, and they get physical over a period of time and they start enjoying, and their need becomes higher and higher. They start staying together and maybe gets into living and all. And when one person becomes more dependent, could be boy or a girl, what happens? The other person, no, I was not serious. Maybe after 5 years or something, I had told you
Mhm.
initially. Did I not tell you? Oh yeah, you did tell me. Then why you see? So this is like, emotions are the oil of our life. We need to
Mhm.
use them wisely.
Yes.
So sometimes we are taking emotional decisions. So we need to use emotions and our mind together. And mind also is like Google. So if you press the button, okay, of the negative button, okay, I want to see the porn and I want to enjoy the porn, you will start enjoying. I want to see the divinity, positive side, of course, the divinity. So it like, so mind is like, they say it is a good servant and a bad master. So you need to have a control on your thoughts, basically. We have now, she has asked this question, there's five senses, like
Mhm.
eyes, ears, You know, 5 senses we have. These 5 senses, through these 5 senses, we take the inputs in our body.
Yes.
Either positive or negative.
Yes, ma'am.
So the way what we tell as therapists that you plant one guard on all the senses. Supposing a person comes with us, you know, is not having a focus on the life and, you know, getting very emotional about somebody having breakup or something, like getting very emotional about something, and going on listening to sad songs audio. So it is through the what we take through the inputs through the senses. That's how it gets multiplied in that. So it is like whatever food we take. If we take the healthy food, it has a good impact on the body. If we take dirty food or too much of fast food, it does not give us energy. So we have to see to it through what senses, what information has to be come out. Basically, your thoughts need to be controlled. Decision has to be taken from the mind, body, using the wisdom. So that's it. So if one of the things, if there is no sync between the mind and your heart is totally emotional, mind can be anything, and it is the wisdom through the experience or through the, if you don't have the wisdom, you have to read more books. You have to go to the personal or the people who are more educated than you, or you can help you, or you can go to the professionals for help if you are lacking the wisdom. So this is what you have.
Cool. I think that was also like a brilliant, answer, ma'am. Like, so even I could relate for this again. Like mostly, our feelings, our emotions will keep trying to impact our sleep schedule also, but we should guard it as you have clearly mentioned.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much, audience, for taking time and joining the session. So the responses were like really like brilliant and helpful. So we will try to implement, whatever you have conveyed, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for bringing me here. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Sagar.
Yeah, bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.